Hello, guys, and welcome to my next breakdown. I'm going to be covering the NFL Week 1 Millionaire Slate. Only $5 on Draftkings. Pretty ridiculous. I'm really excited for this. You could actually win $1 million just by betting $5. So check it out. Um, my username is Team Player. If you wanna start your account on Draftkings, just tell them that I referred you. All right, let's get to the picks for the Week 1 matchups. Starting off with the first game, Lions against Bears. All I like from this game is defense. That's it. This is going to be a very low-scoring game. I don't want to have any exposure to the players on this offensive players. I want defense. So Bears defense or Lions defense, both I think are in play. Lions because the Chicago quarterback's not really good. They don't even know who's going to start. Trubisky is awful. Nick Foles not that great. And then you got on the Bears have a really good defense. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback, but Bears have really good defense. You gotta respect their defense. So yeah, I think both of those are in play for that game. That's it. Let's get to the next game. I'm gonna start with the New England side. Oops. New England. I like Cam Newton. I think he's on a new team now. He's on the Patriots. I think everyone's just gonna like scratch him off because of his injury history. But a new team, maybe new luck for him. Maybe he's still a good quarterback. Can't forget about him. He was the MVP one season. So I think he could. 6,100. I think that could be That's a good price for a quarterback of his caliber. His rushing upside. He can throw the ball. So yeah, against Miami too, the matchup. I mean, yeah, I think that's why I really like him. I think he could be a good pick. Edelman and N'Keal Harry. We know, the Patriots lost Tom Brady and they don't have Gronkowski and they lost a lot of their offensive players. So Edelman and N'Keal Harry are going to have to step it up. And again, Miami's a weak team. I don't expect them to be that good defensively. I expect them to be better than last season. Not the worst defensive team, but they're still not going to be that great. So I think it's a good match to attack. Good players to use to attack. On the Miami side, maybe Devontae Parker. I'm not going to highlight that, but that's the only guy that I would pick on that team. But that's about it for this game. Moving on to the next game, Philly against Washington. Let's start on the Philly side. That's who I like. Deshaun Jackson and Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is going to be like the main running back. There's no committee here. And against Washington, who I don't expect them to be a really good defensive team again, like last season, I think Miles Sanders is going to be a good play. We know that the receiving corps for Philadelphia Eagles is pretty banged up. So Deshaun Jackson, that's the guy. He might be really popular though, because people might see this from last season. Went off for 38 fantasy points. So still like him though. I think he could do well just because of the situation. On the Washington side, there's really only one dude to consider. Well, actually, two guys, McLaurin and Sims Jr. Those are only two I would consider, but I would not play those guys because Washington is just it's not a team you could trust. So I would not play those guys. Just wanted to mention that. Okay, next matchup, Green Bay against Minnesota. This is going to be a good game. Let's start with the home team, Minnesota. That's it. Dalvin Cook, that's my guy. That's the guy that, we all know what he could do. He's going to get a lot of reps. And against Green Bay, I think he can, this team loves to run. So he's going to get a lot of, action. He's going to get a lot of the football, a lot of attempts to run. He's going to catch balls too. So 7,900 against Green Bay, yeah, sign me up. He's going to be used a lot. So don't need to say any more about that. And now on the other side, I like Devontae Adams. I think Minnesota, they're going to have, from my research I've done, Minnesota's going to have a really good defense against the run. But defense against wide receivers is a different story. I think that's where they're going to have holes. So I think Devontae Adams can exploit those holes. So, and we all know Rodgers loves to pass the ball to Adams. He gets a lot of targets, as you can see here. So that's it from this game. Those are the two guys that I like. Indianapolis against the Jaguars. Let's start with Indianapolis side. So I like both Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack. They're both going to be, splitting. They're going to be in a timeshare. They're going to be splitting the carries. But in this matchup, Jaguars, I expect them to be the worst team in the NFL this season. They're going to be full on tank mode. I don't see them being able to stop the run. I think Colts are going to put up a lot of points, and that's why I would consider. Honestly, I might even do a lineup, and I might just pick both of them. I think that would be a good strategy because I feel like they can both get 100 yards in this game, and they can just destroy this team, tear this team up. So, and they're both really cheap. So yeah, Jonathan Taylor, great rookie. There's a lot of hype behind him, but it's warranted though. He had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in college, which is insane. And then Marlon Mack, we know he's been in the NFL for a while. We know what he can do. On the Jaguars side, nobody in particular I want to pick. I don't want to risk picking anybody. You could go with Chark, I guess, technically. But I think the Colts have really good defense. So that's another thing to consider, actually. I didn't highlight that. But the Colts defense, 3,000? Actually, I like that. Colts at 3,000 defense. That's something else to consider. I like that a lot. Okay, next game. Seattle against Atlanta. Let's start with the Atlanta side, the home side. So on the Atlanta side, I like Julio Jones. Obviously, he's a star player. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game. I think there's gonna be a lot of good points in this game because both teams have really good offense. I think they have decent defenses, but not enough to really stop somebody. So I think Julio Jones definitely in play. We know Atlanta, they want to throw the ball. So I like the Atlanta side. I like Matt Ryan as well at quarterback. We know he loves to throw the ball. They're not really like a running team. They like to throw a lot. So Matt Ryan stacking with Julio Jones, going with Ridley too. I think Ridley's gonna have a big season. So I think at 6,100, that's a good price for him too. And then to top it all off, which I think this is a sleeper pick, Hayden Hurst. He had some good games on the Ravens, but on a team that loves to throw, we saw what the tight end prior to this season did. The one that went to Cleveland, Hooper. On the Falcons, he had career numbers. I mean, that guy went off. Like he was a really one of the top tight ends. So I think Hayden Hurst can be one of those guys in this system in this team. So, and I like the matchup too. The matchup is great. So at 4,300, I like this tight end for week 1, like Hayden Hurst. That's on the Atlanta side. On the Seattle side, I like wide receivers again. I mean, I think this is gonna be a back and forth game. A lot of points being put up. I like Tyler Lockett. I think a lot of people are gonna kind of shy away from him, which I understand because he's really hit or miss. He's not someone I'm super high on, but just someone to look out for. But DK Metcalf, this is the guy that everyone is probably going to be on. He's a big guy, red zone target. So yeah, I think he's going to have a big year as well. And so yeah, DK Metcalf, another guy I like. And you know what? I did forget to include this as well, but I like Russell Wilson. He is $7,000 though. It's really expensive for quarterback. No value there, but he can. We all know what Russell Wilson could do. He could possibly go off. And Seattle has been talking about maybe having an up-tempo offense this season. So we're not sure if that's actually going to happen yet or not, but they might change some things up. So Russell Wilson in play as well. I like that. Okay, next matchup we got Baltimore against Cleveland. Starting with the Baltimore side, obviously Lamar Jackson. I don't need to say anymore. This guy, he's a stud. He's the most expensive quarterback for a reason. I don't think I'm going to go there though, just because he's super expensive and there's so many games, so much, better picks, value picks at quarterback. I don't think you need him to win $1 million, so I won't be going there, but just someone to mention. Mark Andrews, another tight end I like on the slate, $6,000. No more Hayden Hurst, so this guy is going to have a higher snap count. He could do some damage here. And against Cleveland, we know Cleveland's not really a good team, so especially last season against the tight end, they weren't that good. So, and even besides the matchup, I mean, he's going to get a lot of usage because they don't really have like prominent wide receivers besides Marquise Brown. So we know Lamar Jackson loves to throw it to his tight end, and he can go boom. He can put up a lot of points, so I like him. And then obviously the defense. We know the Ravens defense, they can super cheap, 3,100. So I really like that against Cleveland, who has Baker Mayfield starting, not a good quarterback. I don't see him doing well this season. I don't see an improvement. So I expect the Ravens to dominate this game. On the Cleveland side, there's nobody that I like, so won't be talking about them. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Cleveland fans, but nope. Let's go to the next game, the Jets against the Bills. Starting on the Bills side, the home team, Bills defense. That's about all that I want from this game. Bills defense. They are expensive, but Bills, we all know they have a really good defense, so they can get defensive touchdowns. They can do really well in this matchup. The reason I don't like anyone else is because, first of all, this team doesn't put up a lot of points, and the running back is going to be a timeshare, and I don't think either one of them are going to pop off. Wide receiver, I don't think either one of them are going to pop off. I think it's also going to be kind of like they're both going to be taken away from each other, Diggs and Brown. And at tight end, they don't really have Dawson Knox, who doesn't really get a lot of targets. Josh Allen, pretty expensive. I don't want to pay that much for him in this matchup. I think there's better quarterbacks, so that's the reason for that. On the Jets side, there's only one guy that I like. That's Jamison Crowder, and that's it. We know that Sam Darnold, quarterback, loves to, they have chemistry. Him and Jay Crowder had chemistry. He loves to pass the ball to him a lot. We saw that last season, so I feel like even in this matchup against the Bills, he could get like a lot of catches, so that could just like make him a good play at 5,200. He's someone to consider, but not high on him though, but just someone to consider. All right, next game, we got Raiders against Panthers. Let's start with Carolina Panthers. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, that's the only guy I like, and I don't need to say anything else about him. But Christian McCaffrey is a stud. He's basically matchup proof. I mean, he's like James Harden of the NFL. Like this guy he's gonna be catching balls and constantly getting touches to run, constantly getting carries. So even in a bad matchup, he could do well. But at $10,000, you need him to like really go off. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna play him a whole lot. I might have him in one lineup, but I think just someone to mention. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to play him a whole lot because that's a big price tag. All right, now on the Raiders side, there are two guys that I like. That is Josh Jacobs and Henry Ruggs III. So Henry Ruggs III, I like him because they're saying a lot of good things about him. That he's super fast, and Tyrell Williams is going to be on the IR. He got injured. So I do like Henry Ruggs just because they don't really have any other receivers besides him and maybe Darren Waller, but don't think it's the best matchup for him. I like Henry Ruggs as a potential sleeper pick at wide receiver. And then for running back, Josh Jacobs, I feel like this is a good matchup for him. We know the Panthers, at least last season, they weren't good against the run. So I don't know how much better they're going to be against the run, but so I think Josh Jacobs is definitely in play. Not my favorite play, but he's definitely in play. Okay, going into the afternoon games, we got the Chargers against the Bengals. Let's start with the Bengals. And the Bengals, I like 3 guys. And yes, I am high on this new quarterback. They got Joe Burrow. I think he's going to do great things. The thing is, this is his first NFL game, and we didn't have a preseason, so I don't know how well he's going to do. But at 5,800, I think he could, pay off that price. And yeah, just someone to consider. I mean, this is a good matchup for him, I think. So he could, I think he could surprise some people. I like him. And then if you're going to pick him, or even if you're not going to pick him, I think Tyler Boyd is in play. I feel like he's on the up and up. We saw he started to have his moments last season where he went off. So yeah, Tyler Boyd. And then AJ Green, I think a lot of people are writing him off just because he's in his 30s and he's been injured and he got suspended and whatnot. But I think he was just frustrated playing with AJ, what's his name, Andy Dalton. And I think at 5,700, that's a really cheap price for a wide receiver who was one of the best wide receivers like a year or two ago. So yeah, definitely in play, AJ Green. And then on the Chargers side, there's nobody I really like that stands out to me that I really want to pick. I think Eckler's too much. Keenan Allen is, he'll get some volume, but at that price, it's not. I don't know. I like Cincinnati in this game, so I wouldn't want to pick anyone in the Chargers. All right, now we got the New Orleans Saints against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the hyped up Buccaneers. Let's start with the Saints. On the Saints side, there's only 2 guys that I would consider picking in this matchup because we know Tampa Bay, they like to play funnel defense, which means that they stop the run. That's their main priority, and they just let you throw. They let wide receivers go off on them, but they just won't let you run on them. So Alvin Kamara is a definite fade. Definitely won't be picking him. Don't recommend picking him. I think Michael Thomas, $9,000. It's expensive, but we all know he can go off, and he's going to get a lot of targets. So, yeah, Michael Thomas definitely in play. And then we got Jared Cook, who's a great tight end. We know Tampa Bay wasn't good at stopping the tight end last year. Maybe this season it's the same thing. So, yeah, Jared Cook, another tight end that I think that could pop. Somebody to consider. Then on the Bucs side, I don't want to go with Tom Brady. I think he's way too overpriced, 6,500. He's not the old Tom Brady, so I don't want to pick him. But at wide receiver, though, for the Bucs, I do like Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I think those 2 guys, against the Saints, I think they could each one of them could do really well. It's hard to know which one will do well, but I think one of them can do well. Not super high on this game, though. Don't think I want to. I think I might not want to pick anyone from this game, but those 2 are in play for me. Those are the 2 guys I would pick if I had to pick from this team. That's about it. Now, getting to the last game, we got 49ers against Arizona Cardinals. Let's start with the 49ers side. I like Mostert and the defense. So obviously we know why the defense, 49ers have the best defense in the NFL. I mean, we all saw it last season. And I expect the same thing. They haven't really made any changes. So, at 3,500, I mean, it's really expensive. If you have the money to pay for it, yeah, I would go with 49ers defense. Definitely in play. And then, of course, Mostert. I mean, we know that this team loves to run, and it's no secret. That's their formula to winning games. We learned last season, Garoppolo, not very good quarterback, so they can't really trust him to throw much. So I'm gonna go with, I think Mostert can be a good play. Not super high on him just because the matchup. I think Cardinals will be good defensively this season. I think they're going to be a good team this year, the Cardinals. So, yeah, but if I were to pick, it would be Mostert. And then on the Cardinal side, for this matchup, I don't want to pick anyone. I know Hopkins is really cheap. I know Drake is, he's an awesome, amazing running back. But in this matchup against the Niners, I'd rather not risk it and go somewhere else. So that's about it. I mean, that covers the whole slate. Those are my picks. And that wraps it up. Good luck, guys, and I'll try and update. I'll try to make maybe another video to update what's going on, because there might be changes, last minute changes. You know, there's always things going on. We'll have to see. But that's it for now, guys. Take care and keep on grinding. Champ grinding.